Whoa! What's going on, people? Welcome to the Toxic Waves podcast, our first ever YouTube edition of this podcast.
Yeah.
And we are here going to be talking about Christmas on Reddit.
On Reddit, Christmas stories.
Merry Christmas to all the listeners out there. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday, and if you're not, let's hope that this video can help that out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't wait. Honestly, we're going to look into some pretty interesting stories, I must say. I mean, it's going to be one of those stories where, like, we're going to be talking about the best Christmas stories out there, and we're going to be looking at which one in particular we're going to be like, oh, yeah, that's going to be the best Christmas ever. Like, that's got to be it.
Hell yeah.
Or we're also going to look up the worst Christmas stories. And we're going to look, damn, these people really had the worst Christmas of all time.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to find out on Christmas with Reddit because, honestly, what's with a bit of Christmas cheer other than singing and, I don't know.
Singing? Oh, shit.
Singing.
Yeah,
like,
we're going to sing for y'all.
I was trying to say with us hearing out all the voices out there who have, what's that wording? Spread holiday cheer. There you go. What's the best way to spread holiday cheer other than sharing your own holidays experience?
Nicely said, man.
You know? Yeah, that's safe.
Real quick, I'm your host, Scopic.
And I'm Don Jar Jar.
And we're about to get right into this.
All right. From Cup Be Empty. My sister and I stayed up really late Christmas Eve. We removed all of our youngest brother's presents from under the trees. We emptied his stocking. We stowed all the presents behind the couch. We put all of his stocking stuffers in a bag. He was 8 years old. He meticulously wrapped and put bows on boxes to him. We filled them with charcoal briquettes and Q-tips. I can't remember why we chose Q-tips. On Christmas morning, he got to go first because he was the youngest. He tore into his first box, and then his face just dropped.
Bruh.
He went out of turn and ripped open present number 2, also coal and Q-tips. He ran into the other room where the stockings were and dumped his out. It was a plastic bag filled with charcoal and Q-tips. He lost it. My parents had no idea what we had done. I think my dad was ready to just beat us for ruining Christmas. So my brother finally got it together, and we showed him where we stashed all his toys and where we put his stocking contents. He was happy as hell after that.
Hell yeah.
To this day, probably 25 years later, I still get called the Christmas Grinch by my whole family.
25.
Everyone conveniently forgets how complicit my sister was in this. Those presents didn't wrap themselves, and I sucked at wrapping. Okay, so he's basically saying he wasn't the only one involved in this.
Yeah.
Don't just call me the Grinch now. You got to involve everybody. There was multiple Grinches.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Man,
what do you think about this story?
Poor kid, bro. Imagine being in his shoes. Like, you're like over here excited as fuck. And you got some motherfuckers plotting on you, you know?
Especially because when you're younger, you know that lore where it's like, if you're on the nice list, you get the toys and goodies. If you're on the naughty list, you get the lump of coal, people.
Yeah, like...
And for some reason, in his case,
Q-tips.
Q-tips.
Man, poor kid.
I mean, yeah, this is definitely a very memorable Christmas memory, not gonna lie. This is something that they're gonna talk about for years and years. I don't know if it's the most joyous memory.
Right, it's a little innocent, you know? Like, I was expecting them to put, like, some, like, crap in his stockings or some shit.
Ugh.
They put Q-tips and coal, like...
I mean, but he's only 8 years old.
That's true.
You don't want to go far. Like, you don't want to put roaches in there.
You don't want to traumatize a youngin'.
Put a pile of shit in there. I don't know.
That's what I was thinking.
You don't want to do any of that. But I gotta say though, like, like you were saying, imagine just being in his shoes, the 8-year-old kid, and just like you're waking up Christmas Day, you get to go check your presents because it's finally the time to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, Latino families normally fucking open presents on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, literally.
But, you know, in this case, they're opening on Christmas Day. So I'm guessing morning time, like as soon as they wake up, like in the movies, however. So literally, he woke up and just found all of that.
Damn.
As if he earned all that in that moment.
Damn.
I wonder if
sad.
he believes in Santa, right? Is that what the lore is? Like, he probably believes in Santa. Like, he doesn't think his parents do it.
Nah, yeah, he was like, damn, dude, I look, he was naughty this year.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he definitely was like, I fucked up.
Yeah, that's funny. I give that, if I'm gonna give like a number on that, I'm gonna give it a solid, like out of 10,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give it a solid 6.
6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ranking like good.
Okay.
What about you, man?
I say so far, just because it's the beginning of
Yeah.
these stories, I'm going to go ahead and be nice, and I'm going to give this a 8.
8, okay.
Just an 8.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's a funny story, but I'm sure there's probably a lot of Christmas stories that are either going to be similar to this or
Really bad.
probably a little bit more funny.
Exactly.
But yeah, that was Christmas story number 1.
That was nice. That was a good way to start off.
That was a great way to start.
Yeah.
So, next story.
Number 2, I got this one.
Go for it.
Bet. So, this comes from James Strang's Ghosts. We are fast approaching the Strang family tradition for Christmas Eve. Every year since having kids, the wife and I stay up too late, drink too much wine and eggnog, watch Christmas Vacation, and then stumble upon ostensibly all in the name of putting the presents under the tree.
Right.
It tends to get a bit out of hand, and I look forward to it every year. Makes the coffee the kids next morning taste even better. Wait, the what? The coffee the next morning tastes even better when the kids open their presents after Santa did his thing. That's literally what he thought.
Oh, okay, so it's a cutesy story.
It's a cutesy story, okay.
It's a cutesy story.
Respect.
He's just telling y'all his traditions, where it's like, him and his family they celebrate Christmas together, and it's sacred to the point where apparently him and his wife get super fucked up.
Yeah, you're like, okay.
It's like, all right.
They watch some shit, you know?
What a time.
Yeah.
You know?
See, that sounds like, okay.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Yeah.
That's what they say, right?
You
You know?
shit.
So I can understand. And
That was a nice
I'm sure the kids probably have wonderful memories from that.
This next one's
But
funny.
I'm giving that story a 4.
Yeah, me too. Like, it wasn't even funny, bro. Like, it was just like, okay.
I made it funny.
You made it funny. You made it a 5, bro.
I mean,
man. But this next one, Loki has some
all right.
On to the third one.
Okay, next story. Jazz Hand Skyward, I don't know. Every year / holiday, my brother eats an amount that could feed a small army and then passes out upside down in my father's recliner like I'm not going to draw flowers on his snoring ass with a Sharpie like I've been doing since literally middle school. And I think that's pretty funny. Oh, by the way, we're in our 30s. Okay.
Damn, ain't that some...
I guess old habits don't die hard, including old traditions.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if you're the first to fall asleep, you're going to get a little mustache drawn on you.
So far with these 3, I really like that there's a lot of tradition based in it, you know?
Yeah, so far it's a lot of like, this is what we do traditionally.
Yeah.
This is what we like to do. They're in their 30s, so they've been doing this for a while,
they still
obviously.
got the Christmas spirit, you know? They still out here acting and shit, so it's cool.
That's right.
I
give that...
Yeah.
What do you give that story?
I give it low-key like a 6.
6.
Yeah. You know? Like, it was better than the other one. It's like pretty...
I gave it a 5 because it was a bit more heartwarming in a sense. Well, I guess, you know, it beats versus getting blacked out drunk and then just remembering you have to give the kids their present.
Oh, man.
And theirs is just like, whoever falls asleep first, you snooze, you lose.
Yo, this next one, though, kind of lengthy.
It's pretty funny. Oh.
Oh, my goodness. We're about to get into this one.
Oh!
All right, bet. Let's do this. So
we're ready.
So check it out. This one comes from _Bo_Nanners 3 years ago. So he said, or they said, it wasn't funny at the time, but now it's hilarious and will forever be known as the Christmas surprise. So let me set the stage real quick. My family always goes to Christmas Eve Mass. Then we come home and exchange our Secret Santa gifts between siblings. It's tradition at this point. There were a lot of us, my 2 sisters, my brother, my parents, my grandparents, and my sister's fiance. So we were in multiple cars. Mass had ended, and I left with my oldest sister and her fiance to go back home. The others were several minutes behind us. Another important thing, we had 2 small dogs, a Chihuahua and a Chihuahua Terrier mix.
Oh no.
That we put in small cages, so when we left the house, that's what he said. So my sister, her fiance, and I get back home, and as soon as we walk in the door, we were just bombarded with the smell of hot diarrhea. It was so pungent that my eyes were watering. Definitely in my top 10 worst things I've ever smelled. I have no idea how long the diarrhea was just sitting there, but it was long enough that the entire house smelled like shit.
Ooh.
It felt like we were choking on it, and I could practically taste it. So my sister and her fiance and I are just yelling and freaking out at the smell. The house alarm is going off, and the dogs are barking to be let out of their cages, like they always do when they know they just when the folks have just gotten home. They normally bark. And so then they say, so I go over to their cages, and obviously smell is getting much worse the closer I get to the source. I let the Chihuahua Terrier mix out of the cage first because he was completely clean. The Chihuahua, on the other hand, well, he didn't just poop in his cage. He had a full-blown diarrhea shit explosion.
Oh.
His doggy bed was soaked with shit. It had leaked out onto the hardwood floors. It had exploded onto the walls. This small white Chihuahua had practically rolled in it. He's sopping wet, and all his fur is stained brown.
Oh,
so he's sitting there barking at me and wiggling like crazy, flinging shit everywhere because he wants to be let out of his cage. And I'm just sitting there in my dress and heels, not trying to throw up, and trying to figure out how I can let him out of his cage without letting him drag liquid shit all over the house and the furniture, bro. Oh, man. My sister finally goes back door and starts yelling potty. Gotta go potty. Since our dog's cues to go outside. Luckily, the little poo mop went straight out the door, so he didn't drag shit all over the place. There were just a few drops in a straight trail to the back door, so it could have been much worse. But the cage, the floor, and the wall are still a fucking mess. If you've ever seen the scene from Bad Grandpa, when he sharts him on the wall, then you can picture exactly what kind of mess I'm staring at.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
Okay.
Except this one wasn't a prank. It was actual shit all over the walls, and I'm the one who has to clean it up. Damn, I feel bad for her, bro. Like,
that's disgusting.
She still has like 3 paragraphs worth of like storytelling, bro.
Let's go.
I'm the one who loves animals so much that I want to work as a vet, bro.
Oh, Lord.
Damn. So naturally, I get stuck with all these gross pets at my job as practice. Also because I'm the only one besides my mom who doesn't freak out and vomit when up close to personal with doggy shit or other nasty stuff. I was also the one who had to pluck out butt worms. Okay, she's just going mega TMI about her experience. She's basically flexing on she can handle this type of shit, right?
Yeah, she's basically saying I can handle the gross shit, and y'all can't.
But then she fast forwards
Clearly.
but in my haste to get everything cleaned up, I forgot the liquid shit could spread underneath the cage. So of course,
really?
Like, bruh. So of course, I just spread this shit even farther along the floor. I'm not really sure how I would have been able to avoid doing that, but whatever. So my sister's fiance quickly carries the cage outside so it can be hosed off for later.
Right.
And that makes more shit drop onto the floor between cages and the back door. I'm still focused on cleaning up the fucking epicenter of this disaster, so my sister cleaned up the floor trail where it dripped. I finally got the shit on the wood floor completely wiped up, disinfected with Clorox wipes, so I could get closer to the wall without putting my heels, God forbid, my bare feet into the diarrhea. She's really talking about her heels on this.
Bro, she wearing heels doing all this, dog. She's a savage.
That's crazy. Then I started wiping it off the wall. Surprisingly, it didn't stain or tint the white paint brown. So she had white walls, bro.
Yeah.
And there was shit everywhere.
Oh, yeah. I can totally see it.
She said surprisingly it didn't tint it, but, like, that's crazy. To make matters even worse.
She's very specific.
On God, bro. Like, what the fuck? So at least there's that. Now at this point, I'm cleaning up shit for a solid 10 to 15 minutes. By the time I'm just finishing up cleaning and disinfecting the wall, the rest of our family finally got home. Of course, when they walked in the door, they also started freaking out about the shit smell permeating the air. It hadn't cleared up at all in the time I've been cleaning. If anything, the smell got worse because I was moving and spreading it around. So they're all asking, what the fuck happened? And in the meantime, the poor dogs are still outside barking because they want to be inside the house.
It's cold.
Poor dogs, bro.
Like, it's fucking
They don't
cold.
even realize what they
They're
just
covered in
did.
shit.
We couldn't exactly let them in earlier since one of them is still soaked in diarrhea, bro.
Literally.
They haven't even cleaned the dogs yet.
Literally.
They're literally fucking covered in shit, bro, outside.
Poor dog.
Alright, we're getting to an
They
ending
clean
here.
themselves.
Luckily, I didn't have to be the one who bathed the dog, since everyone agreed that I'd done much more than my fair share of cleaning up the mess. My mom had to go outside and pick him up with an old bath towel and carried him straight to the tub. Then I spent like 5 minutes furiously scrubbing hands with soap because, again, I cleaned it all up with my bare hands, and it got all over me. But I was also lucky that none of it got onto my dress or heels.
Good.
So, good job, you know what I'm saying?
Good shit.
So yeah, that's my story of the infamous 2015 Christmas surprise. Hopefully it made somebody laugh, because I certainly wasn't laughing at the time. It's a little funny now. But honestly, it's still a nightmare when I think about it. God damn.
So, was that a good story, or was that a...
That was a shitty story, bro.
Was that... I thought we were talking about good Christmas story.
Oh, my God.
She just said at the end, she saved it at the end. She was like, oh, but I laugh about it now.
You know what? I think the good part about it is that she can laugh about it now. And it's memorable, you know? It's like, okay, at least that happened. We can
What a
laugh about
horrible
it.
memory.
And if I'm not mistaken, this happened in
Oh, my
2015.
God.
This happened
Wow.
2015 Christmas surprise. So it's been 8 years.
It's been a while.
And this
Damn near a
she
decade.
posted this 3 years ago.
Wow.
Dang. So she was okay hurting like for 5 years after.
Yeah, we
this.
lucky may have just found a first candidate for worst Christmas.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, that definitely is nowhere near the best Christmas.
In regards to
when it comes to the best Christmas, that's a 1. That is like,
Right?
that's a fucking 1. That's
Yeah,
awful.
That's terrible.
That's a horrible Christmas. But when it comes to the worst Christmas,
Bloop, fucking 9, bro.
I give it a 9. Yes.
Yeah, because who knows what can top that? You know what I mean?
I give it a 9. That's really bad. I mean, literally, a dog is having issues. Like if it just ate Taco Bell, and then he's coming back, shitting in the cage, shitting everywhere, shitting on the wall. I mean, just there's poop smeared on the floor from cleaning it. And then they leave the dog outside while he's still covered in shit.
Literally, bro.
And he's outside cold, barking like, bruh, I stink, I'm cold, and y'all ain't letting me inside. And y'all hate my ass right now. Like, what the fuck's going on? The other dog's probably like, I don't even know what the fuck's going on.
Why covered in shit?
Why am I outside? Like, I'm not covered in shit.
Man.
This is a horrible story.
It's pretty bad, yeah.
That's a pretty interesting Christmas that's a Christmas memory for sure.
I like that one.
That's definitely a Christmas memory.
Yeah. That's
All right.
That's good.
So far, was one of our favorite ones.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lengthy one right here, sort
yeah.
of. From Meaty Loaf. Or is it Meat Thank You Loaf? I don't know. I have a similar story to Cups. I don't know if Cups... I think Cups is the person we just talked about above. So I think it's like a response.
Oh, okay.
My cousin lived with my family at the time, as he did for 12 years. Well, the year was 2011 or 2012, and my cousin had been pretty bad all year. He was just ridiculous to deal with that whole year. He tried to burn down our house, and in the process, destroyed everything my brother had, from toys to clothes and an Xbox 360. Well, at this time, my family had a yearly tradition of doing Secret Santa within the family. My parents would take us out 1 or 2 at a time so we could get each other gifts. Well, something came up and they were unable to, so it was mostly us making stuff for one another or doing a kind gesture. My brother drew our cousin, and still upset that everything he had destroyed, he went out into our yard one night to collect coal. I grew up in Appalachia? What's that?
The
Appalachia, looking at. I'm going to be so made fun of for not pronouncing that. I grew up in Appalachia, and either an old coal store was where the house now stands, or when Habitat for Humanity was digging up the dirt, brought some coal up to the surface. He found enough coal to fill a gallon storage bag. Damn. He also wrapped it without anyone finding out. Come Christmas, my cousin tears into it and is shocked to find coal. It was hilarious, and I had the fact that I was laughing so hard I was crying. My brother very much ruined Christmas, and we didn't do Secret Santa after that. It still makes me laugh because that's what my cousin deserved that year.
That's a sad one.
So this is more of a vengeance story.
Yeah, like...
This is a story out of vengeance.
Yeah.
This is our first vengeance kind of tale where it's like, this is out of pity.
Yeah, well, like that was kind of a sad
Well, not out of pity, out of anger.
Yeah.
You know, just like, okay, so you destroyed most of my shit and you're expecting a gift? Really?
Yeah.
No.
Motherfucker got a whole
that
bunch
ain't
of
gonna
gold.
happen, bro.
Damn.
You gonna get something. I'm surprised I didn't say I dug up in the dirt and I got dog crap and I put it in a bag and I gave it to him. I honestly thought that's what he was about to say. But no, he dug up coal. So basically, literally, another coal story.
Another coal story, yeah.
Where it's like someone else falls victim, and this time, instead of it being a joke, it's actually for real.
Yeah.
Like, no, motherfucker, this is your gift.
And like, it wasn't even a kid. Like,
no,
it was like,
it's their cousin.
And they
probably
had
same age.
They did this for 12 years, and then finally, like, they don't do it anymore after this event. You know what I mean?
Literally,
like, after
because
this,
he
ruined it.
he probably dismembered the family after that.
Damn, I wonder. Like, I want to know what happens to these people's lives after now, bro. Because like, this look sounds like life ending or something.
I don't know. Like, personally, I think that families like that, whenever they have scenarios like that, they're probably the least interesting family to be around.
You think so?
Maybe. I mean, like, in a sense, it's like, yeah, well, I guess it just depends, like, what kind of traditions are you used to, you know? Like,
true.
If your family is known for, like, you know, kind of being bully-esque or y'all fuck with each other, like, yeah, go fuck yourself, you probably tell that to your cousin or something, then yeah, okay, harmful prank, but it doesn't mean nothing, you know?
Yeah, but this one actually took it to, like...
But no, this was personal, so, yeah. I feel like family dinner time is definitely like The Bear. Yeah. If you ever seen that show, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is uncomfortable as shit.
And as they quoted, my brother very much ruined Christmas. You know what I mean? Like, ruined. Like,
ruined.
Fuck.
RUINED. Ruined. Absolutely destroyed it.
That was a crazy one.
I'll never celebrate it again.
What would you score that?
I felt like it was gonna go a different direction.
Me too, but then it did, you
know? Kind of. It went a little like at first I thought it was gonna be like on some like real vengeful shit, like, oh, I'm finna like not just coal, but you know, like they added Q-tips in there. It's like I'm thinking like they're gonna do some menacing shit, like they're gonna get like dog poop or cat crap or maybe just like something from the litter box or just something gross, you know. But it ended up just being harmful but harmless prank in a sense that honestly they probably took way too seriously. So I'm gonna give this a 3.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 3.
It a 4.
4?
Yeah.
All right.
What happens in Appalachia stays in Appalachia apparently. So
what happens there stays there.
Damn.
Next up.
This one comes from 19494. It's literally their username. This was 3 years ago. Not very funny, but important. I want to preface this with that I do not condone the actions of my family.
Oh.
It was nice having an alcoholic for a dad at times. He was an angry drunk, so it was okay. At least in my okay, what? Yo, okay. I'm gonna just run that back, okay? Like, I'm gonna just run that back. All the way from the okay.
That just won, bro.
First of all, this guy has that freaking, like, profile picture. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
All right, let's just run it back one more time.
All right.
Not very funny, but important. I want to preface this with that I do not.
Not very funny, and then we die of laughter right away.
I know. It's already getting bonus points for that. Good job, one. No, I'm just playing, but he doesn't. They do not condone the actions of their family.
Right. Continue.
All right?
Continue.
So as they were saying, it was nice having an alcoholic for a dad at times. He wasn't an angry drunk, so it was okay. Okay, that was on me.
Oh, he wasn't.
I read he was.
Okay.
My bad. I'm gonna try to get this right.
Misread. Sorry, Mr. 19494. Sorry, my dude.
My bad, G. All right. At least in my preteen mind, the Tooth Fairy would accidentally slip up you a 20. The Easter Bunny would put half of eaten boxes of M&Ms into your basket. Eaten the night prior, shit was tight. But if your dad was an alcoholic, Santa was the best. Cut to December 24, 1999. I was 11 going on to 12. I remember this night hearing my dad wake up at 3 a.m. and stumbling to put up my Christmas gifts. Not before vomiting into the toilet the debauchery of the evening before. Him breaking a few ornaments and then pouring out the milk and enjoying the beer he had chilled for himself alongside the cookies. This was a nightly routine with this man. I'm not sure if this lands under permanent childhood trauma or fond memories of the good old days, but it definitely affected me in some unending way. But anyways, I went back to bed and woke up the next morning. And like any child, I was up by 3 a.m. waiting for it to happen. I waited the 4 hours that felt like eons back then. Eons. I don't know.
Eons.
Just to wake him up. And there was the first mistake of the day. I saw him starfished in bed and with his robe on and with his cock in plain view that fell easily into the childhood trauma camp. After he finally unflashed and got up, we got to the presents, a PS1, and then some games, and then came the stocking. The stocking was special, alongside with the same handful of uncracked nuts that he puts in there. There was a can. He spoke up and said, I'm going to try to reenact his voice. I don't even know what he sounds like. Well, my 12th Christmas is when I had my first beer, so it's only fitting for it to be yours. So then 19494 whatever says, so then I took out my stocking, a can of Corona especial, you know what I'm saying? He got that good.
Yeah.
His favorite, along with a lime, and me having the tolerance of a prepubescent gay kid. I was why did he say that?
Wait. What?
This guy's a savage, bro. I was falling over myself on this. This put me off of alcohol for many years, so thanks, I guess, Dad. Then I got driven to Mom's house, where I did my Christmas Day drive with Grandpa to his house. These drives really built my character. He taught me how to be useful and resourceful, how to be respectful to Earth and onto others, and how to find reasons to keep going in day-to-day life. My grandfather was a non-vet, okay, and the real type of non-vet, not the dude who got kicked out of the basic and talks about how strong and brave he was, but the dude who was a tunnel rat and also permanently traumatized that he won't bring up anything besides, yeah, I went there. And so after the life-changing conversation in the car, we got out to his little beach house out in Ontario, where he would normally go fishing with me, but the lake was too frozen. So he brought me inside and talked about how everyone needs a gun. And so he opened up his safe and told me to pick one. This was, and still is, my favorite gift I've ever gotten. I picked out a nicer .357 Magnum Henry lever action. My dad was a mess, an awful person and better off dead. I still love the man, but he was never meant for this earth. My grandfather is in stark contrast to him. He made me a man with every visit to this day. He matures me. TLDR, my 12th Christmas gifts were a beer, a gun, and Crash Bandicoot. I'm a better person for it.
Wow.
Damn.
That was a whole experience.
I'm gonna let that sink in for a second. Just for a second, but
Wow. That was pretty wholesome, but also very disturbing. Whoa.
Man, these Reddit stories can get real deep, you know? This ain't even that deep, but it
getting
can
hot.
Get real
This
deep.
fire on too hot, dude. Fuck.
For real.
Oh Lord. That was a heavy one.
Yeah, that was.
I say it got a little bit more heavy once he started talking about his real role model, which was his grandfather.
Right.
Yeah, that's sad. I mean, dealing with the drunk father. I mean, he says it was not bad memories, though. It was always like he saw the effort there, even though he knew his issues and struggles.
But he also saw his cock. You know what I mean?
That
at
took
12
me
years
out
old.
out of context, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, what did he just say?
Damn.
Wow.
Man,
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna score this one, to be honest. I'm just gonna like respect it, I'm gonna give respect for putting that out there. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna score it.
What are you gonna score?
Shit, that's a 10.
That's a 10.
That's
Low-key,
a 10
if I was
story.
to score it, it'd probably be a 10 too.
That's a 10 story so far.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I don't know what it's a 10 in. I don't know if it's a 10 and this is one of the more wholesome, good Christmas stories, or if this is a really shitty Christmas story. But either way, this is a 10 out of 10 tale.
Somewhere. Yeah.
This is a tale for sure. I mean, I'm actually kind of glad we read with that one. That's
too.
really nice.
Let's do this last one right.
Even though, yes, a kid did get a cock in his face. But, happens.
Yeah, y'all are gonna crack up, but we were literally just like talking about like our next, because we're gonna switch up what we're gonna talk about right now,
Yeah.
right? And tell me why our mic just decided to fucking do this. Like,
I
our mic
know.
just,
What the
bruh,
fuck is this shit?
Like, bro, that shit just had us dying for a minute.
There we go.
But what's good, everyone? So we just actually took a break and we decided to go over some more shit. And what we're about to go over now, since we've been mainly talking about, we talked about like some good stories.
Good and bad.
Our
Let's be
intention was
fair.
to talk about good stories, but we kind of got a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? Like,
there was some involvement of
a
bad
little bit
shit.
of everything would be an understatement, damn near. You know what I'm saying? So
Pretty much.
now we're actually going for a more direct approach on Reddit, and we're gonna go for most funny / embarrassing Christmas stories.
Yeah, we're switching it up now because, I feel like there was a lot of mixtures in the first half, so now it's like, let's just have some fun.
And hey, at the end of the day, we are on Reddit.
Christmas with Reddit.
Facts.
Let's do it.
And we on Reddit, so at the end of the day, we really don't know what
We're going to be
get.
ranking these stories. The best one so far is the one with
one,
the
bro?
dad.
Man.
Oh, the dad and the grandpa.
Partly what made it
It's
funny,
so sad because they said that's not a funny one, but
it's funny because I read it the first time, completely incorrect. You know what I mean?
I know.
And I was like,
that's
fuck.
what made it funny.
Yeah, so that
It was like,
that
oh
was,
god,
that
just
that
the
was
way
a
it
roller
started
coaster.
was so bad.
That one was like a roller coaster of emotions, bro.
Yeah,
but anyways, I think it was like 19494 some shit, man. I still remember it, man.
Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, man.
I'll read.
You got it, bro.
Yeah, I got it. Here we go. This is from Code Lee. Not my story. Okay, remember that. But my parents told me that when they were first married, they handmade a popcorn string to go around the tree. Over the next week, they kept noticing that pieces of the popcorn string were missing. Oh. But they weren't sure what was doing it because they didn't own any pets. Finally, one night they heard a noise out in the living room, so they went to go investigate. And it turns out there was a mouse coming out to eat the popcorn string every night.
Fucking mouse, man.
I would love to see.
Fucking mouse.
And then the rest is just like, I would love to see your finished article when you're done. I love the edit,
Yeah.
But that's the story from 7 years ago.
Hey, man, I'm gonna be honest. That wasn't as embarrassing, but that was pretty funny.
That was not embarrassing.
You
That
know?
was more of a funny story.
Yeah, I was like, all right, man.
Just
I got a kick out of it.
Just
you
a
know?
coincidence, kind of like, oh fuck.
That's his life, another creature stealing another man's
Damn
food.
creature stealing my food, man.
Fuck it. I got the next one.
All
man.
right. Yes, you do.
Alrighty then.
Next story. Well, what are we ranking that one?
Oh, right,
Real
right.
quick.
I would rank that like a solid 6.
6?
Yeah.
Give it a 5.
Give it a 5? Yeah. I bet. This one comes from old_and_moist.
Okay.
This was 7 years ago. Homie said, well, this happened last year. We had food set out on the table, and we were all sitting on the chairs around it. Out of nowhere, my brother's chair snaps, and he tries to grab onto the table, but he can only grab the cloth. And as he falls to the floor, he pulls the cloth with him a bit. The only thing that fell was a massive chocolate cake, but it splattered everywhere.
Oh.
Everyone couldn't stop laughing for the night.
Oh. That's embarrassing, all right.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah,
Like,
it's pretty
We didn't
embarrassing.
even laugh at that,
No. Just like a little, like, ugh.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry
I
about
feel
that,
bad.
homie.
Yeah, that's kind of... I mean, it's funny in a sense because it's like, oh, I'm sure, like, afterwards they're like, oh my god, I can't believe that happened.
That's some, like, comedy
But
movie shit,
to us, Just reading that was just like,
Yeah.
man.
I was low-key the dude that got an A in that, you know?
I give that a 3.
Yeah.
Not impressed. Looking ass. Alright, moving on. Choking on Lego. What a great name.
Yo.
From 7 years ago.
Oh, I thought that was a story title.
No, it's his user.
That would have been crazy.
From 7 years ago. My younger cousin snuck my present from the tree at my grandparents' and held it hostage for about a month or so. We were all bewildered and freaked out, and my grandpa took their lab to the vet's office, Lab the dog, to the vet's office to make sure he didn't eat it. I remember crying because I was the only kid who didn't get a present, out of 8 and 9 cousins. My aunt eventually found it in his room. So always make sure that all gifts are accounted for and there for Christmas, and that nothing is missing. It's the difference between a happy Christmas and the Christmas of a whining, screaming child, while all of my cousins lost faith in their belief of Santa Claus. Okay, that's about it. So, what do we take from this story?
Thank you for sharing. Like, honestly, bro. You know? That's how I feel.
It's innocent.
It's innocent.
It's an innocent story.
Yeah.
It's nothing to. It's nothing that'll freak someone out. It's not something I'm sure it's something they'll talk about every now and then. But it's just, man. One.
I give it a 4.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I give it a 2.
On to the next one we shall. This one comes from Christmas Godzilla 96. So, homie has it in the name. Let's see what's in his story. While I wasn't born yet at the time, I was born in 96, and this happened around 94 or 95. Okay. Mom and dad, he said mum, so he's, M-U-M. Mom and dad had put then brand new 6-foot tall Christmas tree and had finished decorating it. When the cat decided to climb into the tree and start clambering his way up, as expected, gravity prevailed, and the whole thing fell down, destroying almost all the delicate glass baubles that hung around the tree's midsection.
Baubles are ornaments.
Type shit, yeah. When I was a kid, I always thought that the glass bubbles, the ornaments, were put high so clumsily knocked them off while helping decorate. So I couldn't. Okay, I see. Well, we had another kid enter the household when I was just 1. Apparently, he loved climbing the tree just as much as this predecessor did. Hence the tradition of having all the glass decorations roll out of reach of a mischievous feline. And this story never fails to give me a chuckle. And it reminds me of Archie, the cat who grew up alongside me and stayed by my side even in his final years. Damn. Aww. Rest in peace, Archie.
Rest in peace.
Man, I'll tell you what. That was a story that
those
made
damn
you feel...
felines.
He used the word feline.
Those damn kitties.
This guy's language was pretty interesting. His verbiage was quite peculiar.
It was making me chuckle.
Yeah. It was interesting. But man, the story itself though was pretty it was pretty cool. But to be honest though, it starts off with almost like, man, this fucking cat, you know what I mean? But then he's looking back at the fucking cat like, that fucking cat. You know what I mean?
It's like, at first it's like, oh my god, this cat's driving me insane.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, it's like, I miss that.
Yeah, bro's looking back. Man, he really did know what Christmas was about. He had it in the
Oh yeah, that was a good one. I give that one
that might be my favorite one, bro.
I give that an 8.5. I love that one.
I give that a 9.5.
Give that. It's a good
rating. If no one tops it, it's a 10.
It's a good rating.
It's a good rating.
Next up, from Deleted.
Deleted, okay.
7 years ago. I got one. My family only ever got one real tree. This being my parents' first buying experience, they didn't know that you can get a slanted trunk that won't stay up. My dad realized that after attempting to get it to stay up multiple times. This was back when he had less control over Anchor.
Damn.
My mom leaves the room for a bit and comes back to find he had chucked the tree off the balcony of the apartment.
Fucking.
We've had the same fake tree my whole life.
Damn, bro.
That was actually good.
That was good.
That was a funny one. That was probably my favorite one. That was really good. That's definitely a core memory for sure. Like just seeing your dad just lose his shit. He's
like when parents get mad, bro, they just like, you know what I mean? Hey, especially like Mexican parents, bro.
On top of the apartment too. Just picture that in that scenario
that
as
should
well.
Be funny.
Oh man, like there was this one time, like when I was a kid, not really a kid. I was like probably 10 years old, maybe. Yeah, that's a kid. And it's like I was 10, dude, and like I was living at my old apartments, and there was these steps. I was upstairs, right?
Yeah.
And literally, there's these. It was like raining, but also it was cold to the point where the rain froze.
Oh, okay.
And it was like the steps were ice,
Yeah.
And literally, like, you had to be very careful with every step you took. Like, oh my God, every time my grandparents came over, geez. It was always so bad. But anyways, one time, literally, I was walking down the steps, right?
Yeah.
And my dad was also trying to go down the steps, except he was holding a plate. It was a plate of decorated cookies that my mom made, right?
Yeah.
And literally, he's trying to walk down the step as quietly as he can. Well, not quietly, but as calmly as he can, because, he's trying to slip. I'm not paying attention. I'm literally just on the ground, just like sliding on whatever. I'm amazed that there's even snow or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm messing around, and next thing you know, all I hear is just...
Fuck.
And I just look like real quick. I take a glance and literally I just see like my dad just sliding down the steps.
You saw that?
Back first, just sliding, and then the plate falls on the floor and cookies just spread out all over the place.
Did you get a cookie though?
I was picking up the cookies. I was angry, bro. I was like, "Fuck!"
Bro, I would totally.
Because I also helped my mom make the cookies, dude. And I was like, "Dude, I worked hard on this." Like, are you kidding me? You dropped these cookies, bro.
Yeah.
And he was like, who gives a fuck about the cookies?
Damn.
Like, I just fell and almost died.
Y'all are fighting over fucking cookies, man.
That was great.
Parents can be funny, man.
I don't know why that story just triggered that memory in my head. Just like, because I thought about the apartment. I'm just like, wow. That's a wholesome story. That's probably why it's my favorite.
Interesting.
I give that story an 11.
I give that a 9.4. That's my second favorite. 9.4. Nice. Yeah, it still doesn't top the other one. All right, everyone.
Let's continue.
So what we're finna do now is we're actually gonna talk about horror Christmas stories.
Ooh,
and we are Talk Squid's podcast after all, so we gotta touch on that subject. So coming from deleted, this was 9 years ago. So
let's go.
A few years back, I went to my dad's house for Christmas. My parents are divorced, and I rarely go, but my siblings put a lot of pressure on me, so I went. It took about 15 minutes before the stress got to me and I got a migraine. So we all sit down to open presents. Dad, his new... Okay, let me drink some water real quick. What'd you call it? Frog throat?
Yeah, dry. Frog throat, yeah. Frog throat, bro.
Oh, man. All right. That's so funny. So we all sit down to open presents. Dad, his new wife, my siblings, crazy aunt, and my grandmother. We make it around the circle opening presents about 2 rounds before my grandmother gets up and leaves the room. My father starts fiddling around waiting for my grandmother to come back and spots something on the floor. It appears to be cat puke.
Oh.
It appears to be cat puke.
Oh, we've been through that.
He asked his wife and it is indeed cat puke. Bro, he had to ask his wife if it was indeed cat puke. Like, is that cat puke?
Babe,
or am I tripping?
Is that cat puke?
Yo.
Or am I tripping balls right now, babe?
She had gotten up and followed my grandmother out and knew the truth. It was not cat puke. It was my grandmother's poop.
Oh!
And the lady had poop all over the couch. It doesn't take long before we can smell the poop. And no amount of fresh air freshener was fixing that. Grandma comes back into the room wearing nothing but a blanket around her lower half.
Comes back in,
The couch is
bro.
covered with plastic and towels, and my little sister is forced to sit next to my grandmother. And we are all expected to sit nicely and open more
poor
presents
sister,
while
bro.
pretending that my grandmother
Oh,
had
yeah.
not just pooped all over the couch, but also the following day my tooth exploded. Apparently, I had an abscess tooth, but I never
Okay.
felt a thing all until it exploded.
It's just like the cherry on top for my fucking horrible.
Honestly, like, oh, by the way, guess what happened the next day? I had a fucking abscess tooth. Like, bro, what? Knock
It's
on
like,
wood, man.
oh man.
Fucking A.
Oh my god. Is that the cat puke?
Man,
No.
that was the...
grandmother
I was
shit.
hoping it was cat puke, man. I wanted to know what would have happened.
Grandmother shit.
Hey, what do you think would happen if it was cat puke, though?
Oh, if it was cat puke, I mean, if you're a cat owner, you just clean it up, dude. Like, we're so used
You
to
know,
that.
like, the story would have
If
been
it's
way
not,
different.
if you're a dog owner, I'm sure they puke
The story
too.
just took a whole different turn when it was a grandma.
Yeah, literally.
What if it was the dad's, bro? He has had cat puke?
Oh,
No, I'm fucking with y'all.
oh my god, that was fucking
All right.
insane.
We're gonna move- 'cause I only
that
found-
threw me off so off guard.
Ooh, I was about to click one that's making me
That's
go
a 10
on
out of
check
10
console.
story.
Damn.
What do you rate that story?
Honestly, bro, I would rate that story like a good...
I rate it a 10.
I was gonna say like 7 or 8.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You didn't love it as much as me.
No, it was a good story, though.
That was hilarious.
It just hits different, you know?
Yeah.
But... So, this one is a scary Christmas story.
Oh, our thing.
Yeah, literally.
This is our type of deal, y'all.
Type shit,
Here we go.
type shit.
It's from
Garrett?
6 years ago. Mr. Nightmare. No. Or
Mr. Nightmare.
is it the one and only? It says Sither at the bottom, so I don't know. We'll see. It's a Mr. Nightmare tale, basically. Let's do this.
Just do it.
My scary Christmas story. And he even put true on it. Just to confirm it, y'all.
Yeah.
Alright. This story takes place 4 years ago. And it still haunts me to this day. It was Christmas night. And my family were driving home from this fancy restaurant. I, unlike my family, wasn't tired. So the 45-minute drive seemed perpetual. On top of that, my little sister was constantly moaning about how her friend didn't get her anything for Christmas. After about 20 minutes of driving, my dad stopped at a gas station to get some cigarettes, and my sister, brother, and mother all got out to pee. I stayed in the car as I had already gone before we left. Once they all left, I decided to play a few games on my phone. I looked at the car clock and saw that 10 minutes had passed. So I immediately wondered what was taking them so long. As soon as I peered out the car window, I saw a man staring at our car. The man startled me as I didn't know how long he had been watching. What made it even more unnerving is that he had a plain blank face. No expression was shown. It was hard to make out any features as it was pretty dark. And he wasn't standing in an illuminated part of that station. He was about 5'9" and looked to be middle-aged. Once he saw me notice him, he started walking towards the car.
Hell no.
And I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't scared.
I'd be too.
Luckily, my dad came back with the rest of the family just as the man took a couple of steps. My dad apologized and told me he had been in an argument with the cashier. I didn't care. I was just glad that my dad was with me. I took another glance at the man outside and he was still staring, but this time he had an annoyed look on his face.
The fuck?
We drove off, and for the rest of the car ride, I couldn't stop thinking about that man. This wouldn't have been too bad if it had ended there, but it didn't. Later that night, I was watching YouTube while everyone slept, and luckily for me, a storm was raging over us. I enjoy storms. Who doesn't? I love storms. It makes me cozy as I'm laying in bed. I put my phone down and just enjoyed the ambience. That didn't last for long,
Damn.
as I heard something smash into the window behind me.
Bruh.
I lurched forward and nearly fell out of the bed. I thought a bird had just smashed into the window.
Stupid bird.
I parted the blinds, and what I saw next haunted me. I saw a man standing out by my parents' cars.
Better not be him.
Looking up at my room, I took a closer look, and I nearly had a heart attack.
Nah, bro.
It was the same man that I saw at the gas station.
Quit playing.
Only this time, when our eyes met, he grinned. Being the 14-year-old I was, I did the manly thing and I screamed at the top of my lungs.
Damn.
My dad came running down the stairs and entered my room. Why the fuck are you screaming?
Oh, God.
He said. I told him about the man and I explained everything that had happened. My dad grabbed a baseball bat and told me to call the police. After 10 minutes, the police turned up outside our house and found the man in our shed. He got arrested, and that was the last time I saw him. The next day, my dad inspected the house, and we found the handle of our back door had been damaged, but not completely broken. This gives me an eerie feeling, as if he actually managed to get in, he could have harmed us, or possibly killed us.
Damn.
Whew. That would terrify the crap out of me if that ever happened.
That was a scary. That was.
Man.
Damn. You know what, bro? That might be. Before I score it, let's talk about it.
Let's go ahead.
Man, I'm just thinking, like, so many different scenarios. I'm like, what if the dude was actually just a spirit? And I started thinking, like, bro, this is a crazy one, bro. And I'm thinking about why he wants to kill them. And did he know the dad, or did he know, the child? Like, what was his intention? What was his motive behind all that? And I'm just thinking about that too. And shit, man. Yeah.
The end result too.
Yeah, like, what if he did get away?
He was in the shed.
Yeah.
The dude was literally in the shed.
Like, like he was going for some tools.
Imagine, like, you're casually just at home.
For a murder weapon, bro.
There is no cops on their way because you didn't alert your dad. Instead, you decided to ignore him, right? This man would just be in your shed, still trying to find ways to break in your back door without you even knowing it.
Damn. But what if the story was completely different? What if he just really needed something from that shed to fulfill a prophecy? And he was just...
Damn, that would be I hope that's his case in court.
Why he
he got arrested.
Why he got to be weird with the kid, though, right?
Definitely his tensions were he was going after him.
Yeah.
I mean, it seemed pretty obvious,
Like we're trying to be a lawyer and shit.
It's like, dude, that's fucking terrifying. I mean, if I had to rate that shit on being...
Scariest?
A scary ass story, bro.
Fucking 11, bro.
Yeah, that's a solid 10.
Because that was more of a psychological, thing.
I was a solid 10 for sure. Like that was pretty terrifying.
We don't really talk about psychological horror on our podcast. Not really. But like Loki's something we should tap into too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Maybe so. I know one thing though. It's like these kinds of stories they remind you that this is reality, folks.
Yeah, all these fucking stories that
as much as we have all these stories that we're all cheerful and joyful about, all the good shit, there's also the bad shit that happens. I mean,
just life.
Whether it comes to your dog diarrhea all over your fucking house, your grandma shitting on the floor, or a man following you back to your house. Something.
Or your dad showing you his cock.
Crazy. Yeah. Something crazy is bound to happen on a Christmas. Or your dad slipping.
And if not, then you're one of the lucky ones. Look at this. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all for watching.
Hell yeah. The video. This was a great one.
It was lovely.
I know this is your first time seeing our faces. Yeah. So, I hope y'all enjoy this for what it is. We're probably never going to do it again.
I appreciate y'all for, joining us tonight, watching the campfire. I hope everyone out there is having a Merry Christmas, you know what I'm saying? By the time this episode drops, it's going to be Christmas, and we're going to be having one type of Christmas, whether it's a funny one, an embarrassing one, hopefully not a horror one, you know what I'm saying? I hope everyone's safe out there.
But if it is, you go ahead and tell us, because we'd like to know.
Or put it on Reddit, and we'll probably find you one day. All jokes aside, though. I appreciate y'all for watching. Please like and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be safe out there. Surfers out.
Surfers out. Peace. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Signing out.